What is going on, folks? We hope you and all your families are doing well. In an effort to celebrate the winter athletics season that actually did happen, Max conducted a live roundtable discussion with the winter coaches this week. Max, how'd that go?
Went pretty well, Schulte. Thanks for asking. It was a really good opportunity for the coaches to talk about their seasons and their student athletes, for each team to receive the recognition for their respective well-played seasons.
Nice, nice. In this segment, we're going to join Max and the varsity hockey coaches.
So we're each giving out an award. We have I'm going to do the coaches award. So this year, our coaches award is going to go to one of our players who is someone who I see as, the utmost professional both on and off the ice. He's a very selfless person. He's, when you talk about teammates, he's someone that I truly believe has a team's best interest at heart, and it's something that's something that personally I don't think there's enough of in this day and age. On the ice, he's in his 2 years with us, he's developed into one of our best penalty killers, and especially towards the end of last year, really showcased himself as one of our best shutdown defensemen. He's supremely coachable. He's a sponge in terms of learning, and he's constantly looking for ways and working with the coaches, whether it's with film or little skill sessions, individual skill sessions outside of practice to improve his personal game. This year, he unfortunately wasn't able to join us as much as he wanted on the ice. He got hurt and suffered a season-ending injury during our first scrimmage. And I know, having watched a lot of players in my time coaching go through this, it's hard for guys to remain positive, especially when you talk about a kid who's a senior and missing knowing in November that he's probably missing most or if not all of his senior season. But he constantly was looking for ways and talking with us and Coach Ferraris about ways he can support the team behind the scenes. He was I know from talking to some of the younger defensemen, he was certainly a mentor to them, and I would even argue someone who is almost another assistant coach. And he's doing all of this, and he's always worried about us, and he's worried about the team at the same time as he's working very, very hard to rehab his own injury so his hockey career can continue next year. So just a couple words here I have to describe him are, for his professionalism, selflessness, and incredible work ethic. Our coaches award this year is going to go to Christian Colantonio.
Well-deserved, Cheech. We often talk about as coaches to prospective families and even our returning players about, when they get frustrated about point production, their first year kind of adjusting to Founders League and what that's like. So, and we often say year two is always better for all our guys, whether it's, if you're a sophomore going into junior year or junior going into senior year, whatever it may be. But I would say that this guy has completely set the bar to a whole new level. In my time coaching here, I've not seen a player or individual that has quite made the transformation to their body like John has. And I say that, not jokingly, but in a joking way, because I think he's a guy that kind of put his nose to the grindstone a little bit in terms of, his effort in the gym, his overall dedication to working on off ice things, not just hitting the weights, but shooting pucks and watching film and asking for breakdowns of his shifts and things like that. And I would say that kind of, he's the epitome of a hard worker in terms of that. And I would say without question, his off ice kind of drive is what, fueled his success on the ice for us this year. And, as a player, John is he stands out to you because he always has the puck on his stick, but he rarely needs the fancy move or to pick a corner to score his goals. He goes to the net hard. He plays hard in the D zone. He's a hard kid to play against in all three zones. And I would say a kid like that, when you were talking, Max, is extremely hard to replace for us. And I would say there's a number of guys that are going to be hard to replace, but this guy in particular, I think is going to be tough. And I don't think we've quite had, I actually know we haven't quite had a guy here, with his point production in quite some time. And, just to give you an idea, last year, John finished his junior year with 5 goals and 11 assists. And this year, he finished with 18 goals, 24 assists for 42 points. So not only is John in sole possession of the TP single season Founders League scoring record, but I would say perhaps most impressively, which not many people know, we kind of, I don't even know if we told the guys this, we kind of kept it hush as coaches behind the scenes, but I just want to make sure I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget. In 14 Housatonic League games, so the Founders League plus, Deerfield and Salisbury and those guys, John had 24 points in those 14 games, which is 1.71 points per game, which was the first, or put him in first in the overall Housatonic ranking. So was the leading scorer with all those teams. And then in 11 Founders League games, he had 20 points, which was 1.82 points per game. Again, putting him in first place of all that. So, a stat that maybe you guys don't see because it's kind of posted on the behind the scenes website, but something I would say more impressively to us as coaches than setting a record. And, obviously it's with great honor that I give John the Richard A. Reece Award for the most valuable player this year. So congratulations, John Gelatt.
I'm going to be presenting the Brian R. Foster Award. It's an honor to present this. I get another guy who's going to be really hard for us to, a big hole we're going to miss. So the Brian Foster Award is given to a member of the Trinity-Pawling hockey team who demonstrates great commitment and contributions to the program. And this year's winner has certainly done that. He's been a member of the team for 3 years, including a team that won a Founders League championship in 2018. He's been amongst the team leaders in goals in all 3 of his seasons, and perhaps the best penalty killer in all of prep school hockey during that time. As a newcomer to the program this year, I heard a lot of great things about Stephen Willey as both a player and a person. And it didn't take me long to see why Stephen has gained the respect and admiration of so many people on campus. One of these people is Coach Ferraris, and he had this to say about him, and I quote, "Stephen's the easiest skater I've coached at TP. He's like a weapon in an arsenal, one that was always loaded, ready to do whatever it took, no matter the opponent." Guys like Stephen Willey don't come around very often, and that is why he most deserves this award. The Brian Foster Award is about dedication to doing things the right way all the time. Thank you, Stephen, for bringing so much more to Trinity-Pawling and its hockey program. So on that note, it's my pleasure to present the Brian R. Foster Award to Stephen Willey.
Congratulations to those guys. You make us proud. And that's all we have for this week, folks. Stay tuned for a segment featuring the award winners for Varsity Squash. And please, please, please send Mr. Anthony your senior shout-outs. We're gearing up for that episode where we begin to celebrate the seniors who did not get to play their spring seasons. Until then, stay safe, stay home, and stay classy.